Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got another exciting matchup for you today, right after the last one, which was Imperium versus Danger Zone. Imperium taking it in splendid victory.
Yep, they did get rid of the danger zone that was present at that moment in time.
We have a familiar face coming out for you guys, the Rambozos, who you'll actually see on November 22nd in the North American Regionals. Tickets are still on sale, esports.smitegame.com. Pick up your tickets today to see them, along with the other 5 top teams from North America. But for right now, they'll be up against Dave's Vault, a team that we don't know too much about, but Rambozos are coming out. As we said, they made it out of the Challenger Cup Handyman and into the frying pan. And here they are just sort of flexing and practicing before their LAN debut.
Well, they're going to have a big task ahead of them when they get to that LAN, but for the time being, this is a chance for them to play around. I don't expect we'll see any strategy coming out from Rambozos here today. Although, at the same time, they're the one team going to the LAN from North America that everyone thinks is not got a chance, not got a hope in hell. Let's be honest. They are the real underdogs going to the LAN. So they could pull out everything they wanted to today and be like, you know what, let's just play our game because everyone's going to underestimate us, and then maybe one team will underestimate them a little bit too much at the LAN and things will go south.
Very true. Rambozos are a little bit underestimated because they're the only team that's really coming out of the Challenger scene for North America. Five Angry Men was the other team, and they were disqualified, so we're not going to see them at regionals, so it's just Rambozos. The other 5 teams that we'll see at the November 22nd North American Regional Championships, those are going to be teams that fought in the SPL, so everybody knows what they're about, everybody knows what they can bring to the table. Rambozos, on the other hand, not so much. But today we're going to take a look and see what they can pick along with Deus Vault, and wonder, as we said, if we'll see a traditional comp and a traditional strategy from the clowns on the right, or if we're going to see them mess around a little bit. Either way, I'm excited for the game.
Me too. We're into picks and bans right now. Deus Vault going to be first pick, first ban in this one, and it's up to them to choose. New War going to be banned away. Now, first banning New War when you are first pick says that you either don't have a player who wants to play New War, which is unlikely at this sort of level, but more along the side of we have another god in mind that we want as first pick.
Exactly. Very good assessment. Nuwa is a character that, Nuwa is, I personally don't think she's first pick, first ban. But that's a little bit different. That's sort of how we talked about Zeus, and sort of it's up to the team if they want to play against her. This could just be Deus Vault saying, look, we understand that other teams want to pick her. We just don't want to play her. We sort of saw this in the European Challenger Cup with Geb.
That's true. I mean, with Geb as well in the European Challenger Cup, it comes down to what people can play against Geb to deal with it overall. Or if they want to have Geb on the team and then not have other things available to them, like, I don't know, non-knock-up of immune shields or something like that. Who knows? I was spitballing there because I got myself stuck. But Mercury banned away, so kept banned away as well. Sylvanas still on the table. It's over to Rambozos here. I would like to see us. I think Sylvanas is stronger than Geb. That's what I'm going to say now. 100%. Sylvanas is the strongest Guardian in game as of this moment.
Yeah, I think Sylvanas has some problems. If you get caught out, there's really not much you can do. You can pop the ult and your spirits or your wisps and whatnot, but outside of that, if you're all alone on those rotations towards mid camp, you're a little out in the open. That said, you completely dominate the lane. The pull can be very scary. So Sylvanas might be going for the first pick, but Deus Vault looking at the Geb. So we're going to get that hovered and highlighted. I wonder if they'll lock it in over the Sylvanas.
I mean, I'm down for the Freya ban coming out from Rambozos here. Freya is a ridiculous threat overall. She is still first pick, first ban material as well because she can be run in multiple roles overall. And Deus Vault, I think we're listening to comms here and we're watching the stream and they talk about Sylvanas because they were quickly hovering that Geb. Oh no, okay, maybe not.
Okay.
They were watching, they were like, yeah, whatever, son, you don't know what you're talking about. Just so you know, Deus Vault, right? I'm talking to you guys now. You just trolled me with that, okay? I went 6 games in a row in League with Sylvanas and won them all. I'm a bad player, right? But if I win 6 games as Sylvanas, there's something wrong with that god. I'm just saying. It might be a little strong. But you chose Geb, and he's back over to the Rambozos to choose what they're going to pick.
Rambozos are going to go ahead and mouse over that Sylvanas. They'll most likely lock him in, so that's probably a lock right there. And Giannis, well, they're going to go Ra. So we still don't see the Sylvanas pick. These teams just keep pranking us. But Giannis is going to be picked up for the Rambozos. If you guys are unfamiliar with the Rambozos, get familiar, because you're going to see them at LAN in just about 2 weeks. But Giannis will be played most likely in the middle lane by a Duro, previously of Dignitas fame, a longtime bench player for Dignitas. So a little bit of talent right there in the mid lane, and Giannis is going to be a great pickup for Rambozos, just as a god overall, and specifically for a Duro.
Yeah, I mean, for him overall, as well with the whole composition of that team, the one thing I like about Ra and Giannis, they can interchange lanes as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're both very good in the solo lane if required to do so. I mean, obviously Giannis not going to be as abusive as he can be from the mid lane, but he can still, we've seen the likes of Devios do it, you know, in the solo lane, farm all day, rotate to the fights, do a lot of damage, and that's exactly what both these gods can do. So if they do get an unfavorable matchup in one of the lanes, they could switch it quite happily, not have an issue. For example, Chunga is good against Ra, well, probably not as good against Giannis, because Giannis has got that range to stay away from the poke that you can put out.
Exactly. I love that analysis, and that's one of the things that the Rambozos do to a certain extent, not quite at the level of Aquila that can do that and just alternate their mid and solo laners, because that's what that team is built around, but they have a little bit of interchangeability in their players, in their god pool, and allows them to do that. Another team that sort of has that is COG. Cognitive Gaming has that with MLC Stealth and Omega. Their god pools are so similar that you can sort of switch in and out. That said, Omega just plays Zamana.
Well, the two teams now, Athena now gets locked in as well. I'm okay with the Athena pick over the Sylvanas here just because of the compositions on paper here. Geb, high mobility with the rollout. Apollo, global ultimate. Thor, global ultimate. Across the way, Giannis, semi-global ultimate but high mobility. Ra, high mobility with his passive. Athena, global ultimate. So, if you look at the compositions, they're trying to balance each other out here to make sure they both go backwards and forwards, kind of stay on equal terms. I'm okay with that so far, although I still would have preferred Sylvanas. I'm just saying, he's OP.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think Sylvanas is very, very strong. So we'll see how that goes as we get out of this counterban situation. So Ram is going to be the counterban for Deus Revolt, and Rambozo's going to go ahead and ban Vulcan. Interesting.
Vulcan has a pretty good matchup against Giannis in the mid lane, in all honesty. The poke that Vulcan can put out, it can cause a few issues for Giannis. Giannis has a few issues dealing with the turret, for example, because you position it away from the minion lane, and with the unstable vortex, it's hard to make sure that connects with the minion wave correctly to clear it effectively, as well as the turret. So that makes some sense as to why you don't want that. Also, Geb Cataclysm into Vulcan Ultimate, that is another combo that is available, possibly. So I can understand that to an extent. Also, with the Thor Dunk as well, that's another one that could be used with the Vulcan. I'm okay with that overall. It's not like the most priority one, I'd say, but Vulcan people have started to realize he's come back into the fray now.
Yeah, I mean, the problem, the reason I don't like the Vulcan ban is Vulcan is very player specific. Vulcan needs a lot of practice and really just experience under his belt to really do what Vulcan does well. So Rambozos might know a character or a player on this Deus Vault team, which would definitely mean a lot, because it's really all up to them. But Rambozos with the Uller pick for the long lane, we don't see it too often outside of Dignitas Zapman, but I like it.
Well, Ramen was banned away. The only other option really that we've seen, and hers a very EU centralized thing in all honesty, so we normally see them go to Ul, because if you go further down the list, it's only Neath, Amuz and Carb, Xbalanque left really. I'm not even going to mention Cupid, even though Cupid's probably technically better than Xbalanque, but you know, you're probably going to have to end up going to Ul. He doesn't have the worst matchup against Apollo. Going to struggle a little bit in terms of wave clear early, but then again, he's against a Geb support. Geb's not the greatest at wave clearing early, right. So that kind of balances out a little bit because Athena's a bit more effective there. But then we see Chunga being picked up for the solo lane. We said earlier, Ra doesn't have the greatest matchup against Chunga. If Chunga can play it correctly and put the bully onto the Ra early, it can cause a few issues for him. The only thing I feel with Chunga is that as the game goes on after, outside the laning phase, she has more issues.
Yeah, Chunga needs to really play that magical bruiser, so if she's not ahead or where she needs to be, it can become a little bit of... It can cause a little bit of problems for her in the lane phase, but in general, it should be all right. We're going to see Hunbat's a second time this situation, this tournament. Last time it was played by, I forget the player's name, but he went 13-0-3. This time around, we'll see him on Grishank. So as we get into the game, we'll see just how strong Grishank can be. He's generally a strong jungler, and for the Rambozos, he's one of their stronger players. It's who most of these teams want to watch out for, Hindu Man. So as we take a look in-game and we see what he's building, just the boots, Hog 1, and Mask, we'll see what he can do for the beginning of the match.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing about Grishank in the jungle here overall is going to be important for... He's very, very good at dealing with if he gets invaded. That's one thing that a lot of people need to understand if you're a jungler. If you get invaded, you need to know how to deal with that if that does happen to you. So we're going to have to see how he can play out in this one. If he does get invaded, he normally counter jungles effectively and steals jungle back to keep himself on even terms. And sometimes that can put the enemy team behind because they're not used to being counter jungled in response to a counter jungle.
Now, this is a team that we've seen a little bit of before. Mr. Mackey, Thufa, Pugsy. We've seen these players around before. What team have we really seen them on before, Hinderman?
The North American scene and me, we're not best buddies in the world because you and Kret stole all of North America for the most part. I'm just saying. So asking me a question like that just makes me feel very, very wrong that I don't understand the North American scene. I'm going to ask you a question like that about Europe tomorrow, and we'll be even now.
I'm going to nail it. I'm going to nail it. I'm a worldly individual, but Torch Gaming is really where we've seen them. Torch Gaming and some other teams here and around the Challenger scene, etc. So these players are not... This isn't an out-of-nowhere team. These players have been flirting with the competitive scene for a while, both in open tournaments like this, Smite Central, etc., etc. So players like Mr. Mackey and Thufa specifically sort of know what they're doing, so we should be in for a good match.
Well, Warlock/Rush coming out from Ra as well by Meerkat here in this lane against Chunga. That should give us time for Mr. Mackey to try and play this one aggressively and punish him a little bit for that because he's not going to have as much sustain in the lane. Overall, though, it is still Ra, so it's not going to be the easiest thing to do, but if Mr. Mackey can put the pressure on early, could cause a few issues for Meerkat rushing that one. Checking in with the supports, both running Watcher's Gift, nothing unusual there. 3 mana potions, 4 health potions, only 1 ward placed by either team. And as we're going to see, we're also seeing Tokity playing this time round as well left up.
Yeah, Tokity's a player that's been around for a long time. Tokity playing for the Rambozos, interesting. We knew he was related to the team. He's their coach and sort of around there with the manager, but I didn't really know that he would play for the team specifically. We got Meerkat, Aduro, the Paradox, Grishank, so he's just going to step in for the support player this time around. I guess just wasn't available for this weekend tournament.
I'm guessing Chris Pocky just wasn't about was the big issue for him overall. But look at this at the start, Pulliam going aggressive, they've pushed out the wave, and now he's going to take the back Harpies of that side, save the Hog for that one, so manages to pick that one up nice and early for himself. Going to help out in mid lane though, bit of poke being eaten by Agni there. Aggressive dash forward, got to watch the poke he's eating there. Toother, he's a bit of poke from Adoro for free. Check back in with the solo lane. Pretty much standard as to be expected. It's quite even. The double tap does connect nicely though, coming out from 4 there onto Meerkat. Not too much poke. Mackey's got to watch those minions though. Going to get teleported on, but then Thor's there with the spin. This backwards and forwards fight is going both ways, but I actually think Ra's going to get the upper hand. Still in that heal, son. One auto attack is enough. Brings him down. First blood, Meerkat. And that is going to be a big impact on this solo lane.
Meerkat with the Not doing it, Kret. Sorry. Meerkat with a big play coming out for first blood priority on him. He'll get the first kill of the game, and that's going to put Rambozos in a good spot. And they are the favorite coming into this game, and we'll see if they can keep it up. Deus Volt does have, like we said, they have some experience, but Rambozos are a tried and true team. They understand how each other work. They've been playing together for months on months. This Deus Volt team is a little bit new, so that's probably the biggest factor they're going to have to work against, is the fact that they're inexperienced playing together versus Rambozos, who literally have their coach on the floor.
Well, a lot of aggression in the duo lane. Rambozo's putting the pressure onto Deus Volt. Given as good as they get, though, overall. All down to half health. So is Geb. Geb should be able to sustain that back up with those potions. Thor in the jungle, though, going to be giving red buff over to Agni. And every single game today we've cast so far after, we've seen the same start from the junglers when they've been starting on order side. Help with the mid camps, do the blue buff, rotate into jungle for red, give that to the mid laner earlier on, save that experience for a little bit later.
Left-hand lane, Pugsy and Pulliam staying here while Tokity has already started the rotation to the mid camps. About 15 seconds early on his way. Pulliam does have access to the rollout, so he can make up for lost time, no problem right there. But he's actually going to stay in lane. With 3 minutes right here, he's fully committed to staying here in the lane, and they kind of want to look for a kill if that's what they're going to commit to. But Pulliam's actually going to knock up onto the minions. That's going to get him farm for everything. And he looked like he was going into some danger, but he saw it was coming. He's going to go around the safe way, Hindu man, and we'll probably see a fight.
Oh, it's all about this left-hand camp. Geb's going to pull it, but he needs to watch himself. Gets taunted in. The wall comes out to slow them down a little bit, but the stun cataclysm was forced as well. Mid-camp's going away. Fear no evil lands onto Geb. Geb's being the focus. Thor goes to the sky as well. Agni's coming around trying to burst down Grishak. Grishak jumps over the wall. The dunk does not land. Apollo's in the sky, but Adoro comes around to clean up Pulliam, the major target of that. And now Apollo chases onto Grishak. One more hit will do it. So Beautiful does connect, but he needs one more auto. But Warriors is on the backside, going to try and spin to win to bring down Grishak. Can't find it though. Athena taking it to the sky, so using the ultimate onto Paris to try and dunk onto Thor. The leap over from Grishank to survive one more time. Paradox brings down Walrus. How did Grishank live?
That's just what Grishank does, Hindu Man. He jumps around, he stays mobile, and he's able to juke almost anything. And that's going to save his life, but it's also going to earn his team kills. Played the bait boy for a long time right there. They picked up the Geb. They picked up They picked up one other member of Deus Vult. It's going to be 3-0 for Rambozos already, just 4 minutes into this match.
That was a crazy fight, and the best thing about that as well, Adoro pushed in mid lane, didn't actually rotate all the way. He got the kill onto Pulliam, stayed mid, pushed in, got a full wave into the tower again. Agni lost that wave to the tower, and also got some free tower pressure off. 4.5 minutes in this game, and now Rambozo's stepping it up. 1,000 experience lead, 1,000 gold lead.
Doing it well, doing it right is the team in red right now. Deus Vult still in this game. Just have to farm up a little bit. Hopefully we see this Thor. He is diamond, so hopefully we'll see this Thor farm up a little bit more instead of looking for more and more execution in situations where he can sort of become a part of the offense. Right now he's just got to farm and become even or ahead of this Grishank, because we talked a little bit how Grishank is generally the focus of this Rambozos team. Well, Grishank needs to be the focus of Deus Vult as well. He needs to watch out that he doesn't get too far ahead. He's only got 2 assists, so they're all right. But he can definitely be the entire catalyst for this team if given the opportunity. And right now, definitely looking like he's able to with that more moral victory in the long lane.
Oh, nice work from Takadi trying to invade and go on the blue buff. Adoro's going to watch his position in here. Could get caught out going back to the lane after warding. On the right side though, mid-camps have spawned and Grishank in position to bring those down. Nobody actually going to contest there. Nice stun coming out from Agni though. Nice bit of poke onto him. But he'll be able to sustain back up thanks to that bit Vampiric Shroud as well. Clearing out those minions. Warlock Slash finished for Meerkat now. 10 stacks already underway. And Devourer's Gauntlets online for both hunters right now.
Hunter's looking for a situation where they can sort of make things happen for their teams. We've got Pugsy on the left side and the Paradox on the right side. Both these players definitely have played against each other, both in ranked and tournament situations, so they got to watch out for that. They might know each other's tendencies a little bit, and Thor's looking for the left side.
For the left side. He's going to find Paradox, the double tap, followed by the Cataclysm, the leap away though. There's a great ultimate through space and time. Does connect with 2 members. He's going to actually avoid the portal to try and help out Pugsy, who's trying to go aggressive onto Paradox. Paradox still alive. Pugsy tanks 2 tower shots, and now here comes Grishank. Can he turn this one around? The monkey did not jump to the Apollo he wanted to. Instead, it jumped to the rock, and the rock is down. The rock says, no, you damn roll. And now Grishank goes in with the Fear No Evil. The spin to win, and Thor comes out, trying to keep the pressure on. Pugsy trades back a kill here. And now Adoro's going to watch his positioning. Grishank dropped over aggression from Rambozos. Nicely done from Deus Vult.
And they're still going in. Pugsy looking for the kill, or at least the damage on the Takadi. Might have been able to get the kill with a little bit more help, but not able to secure much there. Paradox got away because of Coach Takadi, honestly. Beautiful play coming out from the Athena in red. Just blocking the basics and any sort of damage to be able to hit his Hunter, and it's what allowed him to really get out scot-free. Grishank did die. I don't think that was part of the plan there, Hindu Man, but it wound up being a good play overall for the Rambozos. 1-1 trade as the Hunter down low.
Pugsy played this so well, but now Pugsy's out of mana, and now Paradox might be able to trade this back with full mana. Leaps in. Pugsy's so low, he's only going to have to rely on his passive to try and win this duel. And that's a dead Pugsy.
I love those Hunter duels. It's one of the best parts of the game for me. Watching the Hunters just trade basics, trade autos, trade abilities.
Remove crit and let me watch all day. I could do that every day of the week. That'd be the happiest day in the world. But crit is in the game, and the crit is what can win them. So 5-1 for the Rambozos after that trade. 1,400 experience in their favour for the Rambozos, and the goal lead of 1,700. Mid camp's on the right, due up in about 30 seconds time. The other camp going to be about another minute and a half by the looks of it as it stands. So we're just slowly waiting around for the next sort of engagement to happen here.
Teams farming, looking for something. Paradox going to go ahead and back in his lane. And just sort of waiting for the next engagement, as you said, Hindu Man. These mid camps are delayed, so we'll see the right side come up just a little bit. Looks like Rambozos have a timer, and Deus Volt does not. So when camps are delayed like this, it's going to be hard for the team without the timer to really get them. So these right hands should just go to Rambozos, no problem.
I mean, once this right hand goes down, we'll see Geb return to base for Hog 3. We'll also see Athena return to base for Hog 3. And then immediately, we'll see the Gold Fury contention be a possibility for both these teams. There's Geb. He's gone back. Hog 3 now online. Tokeny does have the gold in the bank. No, he's not, actually. He's a little bit short on that. So he needs one more camp before he can go for that at the moment. And then we can see some possible Gold Fury contention. And with these teams and the way they've got these global ultimates, F-Dot, I can really see that happening sooner rather than later. They might even try and risk it a bit early.
Early Gold Fury is one of my favorite parts of the game, Hindu Man. I love to see that happen, but these mid camps are going to spawn up, and this is one of my favorite parts of the game, when the teams are sort of jockeying for position, looking for these mid camps. But before that happens, we're going to see a gank onto the right-hand side. This is one of my favorite parts of the game, when the jungler ganks the solo lane, not really able to get much of anything out of there as Mr. Mackey plays it safe.
The jungler ganks the solo laner, and the solo laner moonwaltzes, but Thor goes to the sky in the Gold Fury pit after the siege one. Doesn't find the dunk. Paradox does get stunned by the wall. The double tap does connect. Athena's ult in, as is Apollo. Leaps away from most of the damage. Through space and time comes out, does not connect, but gives the portal through. Great taunt onto Walrus, who gets his Gleb shield in response. He spins away to try and reduce the damage. Does he? A portal forces the beads out. He's got one auto attack from Death. He's going to get brought down by Tokeny with the autos, and now Pulliam's surrounded by 4 members. There's a Fear No Evil in his face. He's going to drop down 2. Pugsy's going to keep running away. You can see on the backside Agni's rotating with the help of Mr. Mackey. Going to look for the turnaround. Waxing Moon is still available.
I love these counter ganks. That was fantastic. Rambozos come up on top with a whole bunch of kills right there. 2-4-0 for the team on the right-hand side of your spectator UI. Grishank's also going to go ahead and grab the 3rd iteration of those mid camps, and secretly, silently, Meerkat picks up the tower. That said, poor engagement onto the Gold Fury, and Tokeny's going to fall, but that's expected.
Yeah, Tokeny went very, very aggressive there, looking to try and clear out that sentry ward, but when you're against an Agni, the Gold Fury is a pit of death. That's the best way I can put it. Agni with those bombs, rain down, and you're so out in the open, you're in a lot of work right now. Got a bit of a pause here, and we're back into the game and underway as we continue. The powers that be have allowed us to Adoro. Now we're getting ganked in middle lane, low on mana. Did manage to use the threshold to speed himself up enough to escape that gank. And now we're going to see that right tower drop in. Gold Fury's still standing though, but Rambozos extended the lead with that fight, and with that tower on the right side going down. This is an issue now, F-Dot, because Ra can now start rotating easier than Chang'e can.
Yeah, once that tower's gone, Ra can rotate. And I mean, Ra is lovingly called Race Car Ra sometimes because of that passive. Despite it being nerfed a little bit, still faster than your average bear. So able to get around the map, no problem.
Chicken. Average chicken. He's a bird, right? You can't call him bear. Bird.
Meerkat just going into the jungle a little bit to poke Mr. Mackey. I love the jumps. Meerkat just that guy today.
Well, mid lane, once again, Tokeny going to get stunned out by Agni, and now they're going to see the wall come out as well as Tokeny tried to re-aggress with the help of Grishank. But mid camps on the right spawning again, and this is one thing to note on these mid camps overall. After I think one team has control of each of them. Right hand side is always going to Rambozos. Oh, Hordax is the fight breaking out in the jungle as Thor goes to the sky here. Meerkat is standing in his heel. Is he going to dunk down? He dunks down onto Grishank. Spin to wing comes out, forcing the Athena ult, and there's an Apollo ult as well. This could be a bad spot for Pugsy to be, and the taunt does not connect as he uses the moves to get away. And now with Adoro being over here as well, this fight's breaking out in 2 fights at the same time. Waxing Moon as the Meerkat. He's the focus, but the good portal. Meerkat turns around. Slimes picks up a kill before he drops himself. It's a 1-for-1 exchange. Jungler for solo laner.
Presence of mind from the Rambozos solo laner. I hate to give it to Meerkat, but I have to give it to him right now. Pulling him in a bad spot. Gonna go ahead and die to the Paradox. Great kill for the Hunter in red. And you're right, that should be Gold Fury. But I like the play for Meerkat. He did die. He was going to die. There was no chance that he was going to live. So what does he do? Instead of running away and trying to make it, he turns around and ults. And it winds up getting a kill for him. Like, it deals damage to the entire team. He knows he's going to die, so you might as well use your ultimate. And he gets a kill. I don't think that was planned. I think it was just, hey guys, I got a kill. Look at that.
Yep,
kills
and
him
now
before
Fear
me.
No Evil lands onto Mr. Mackie, was pushing solo lane. Grishank might want to continue trying to follow up on this. The waltz is already down. Can Grishank find the damage over and smashes enough? One crit might work out for him, but he's in a minion wave as well, and the dancing booty of Chang'e saves the day. She's going to live for now.
Yeah, you mentioned before how both teams sort of have these different mid-camps. Rambozos have the ones on the right, and Deus Vult have the ones on the left. It's because Rambozos don't have the timer for the ones on the left, but here we have Aduro showing that they just picked those up, so that might swing around this time now, Hinduman. Rambozos now have both timers. They're split completely. So you're going to see, instead of every 3 minutes, it's about every 1.5 minutes. Every minute and 30 seconds, you're going to see mid-camp spawn. Rights before lefts as it is right now. So it's going to be an interesting situation there. Rambozos should be able to dominate mid-camps, and as it stands right now, just under 5,000 gold in the lead are the Rambozos. Having those small mid-camps, they start to matter less and less as we approach the 4th iteration of them, but 4th and 5th are still very important.
Yep, it's really, really true. It does give you a little bit of gold, a little bit of experience. It gives you some lead. Nice damage onto Agony in mid again. He did avoid the unstable vortex coming through, but ate the portal to the face. One thing to note as well, Grishank did get forced to use his beads, which were only ranked 1 by Agony in mid lane. So he's going to be a lot safer in this jungle for the next minute and a half at least until they come off cooldown. And with the Go Fury being down, there's not really much to fight for right now. It's going to be all about farming. And you can see Deus Vult really want to try and make something happen. But I don't think Rambozos are going to allow it. They're not going to, fall into a bad fight.
Yeah, Rambozos are a little bit too tried and true to really be baited into a poor fight. Honestly, it really is their experience that's going to hold them up in that regard. And Grishank is a character that can get ahead of himself. So if they're going to be looking for something, they're going to look for that. Left-hand side, looking for Paradox. Just going to barely miss, but Paradox going to turn around with that Athena. Oh, great beads and Geb Shield is going to get him out of that. But that's both cooldowns. Pugsy going to get stuck in the portal. Great beads. Going to prevent that double tap from the Ionis. But that's going to be a retreat coming from Rambozos. They really don't want this fight, but here's the rest of the team. They can follow up, and they will.
Well, they could try and group up. If Tucker can get a taunt off, that's going to cause some issues, but now they can group for the tier 1 tower, which is already below half health. Pugsy's already used beads, so he's got to watch his positioning. Pull him on the front line, going to have to back away against this full minion wave. That tower died in seconds as well.
Agni still in the middle lane. This siege is happening. Rambozos is coming the left-hand side. We have a teleport to towers. Here comes Mr. Mackie. Agni and Thor finally making their way here, but no Thor ultimate to talk about. Paradox takes half his HP with the Molten Attunement coming out of the jungler. We've got Paradox and Takati in the jungle. The rest of the 3 get hit by the Gebolt, and now Rambozos have to get crafty. Immediately turning on Lufa, and he's going to fall down. No cleanup for him. No Lufa for that guy. Walrus going to take a hit from Aduro. Another kill for Rambozos. That's a 2-for-0 exchange. The Paradox on a rampage. 3-4-0. Read the red team. And now Deus Vult on their backside. Can't fight. Can't defend. Rambozos not going to take the tower. They're going to take their 3 kills and walk away and look at the middle lane.
Yep, mid lane's definitely the call. They're going to have a few minions there, as well as Grishank and Paradox going to be in a position to bring this one down before anyone can come and defend. The whole fight there, after what you saw is Thor ults every single time. But every time he ults, Paradox backs off, gets Athena ulted, and Adoro immediately Giannis ults across the map to force the fight into a favourable matchup for the Rambozos. They turn it every single time. Thor has not had an opportunity to gank without being rotated on himself, and Rambozos are the ones that keep coming out the victors because of it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Athena, we won't ult. Takati just won't ult without Thor. And it's beautiful. You see that a lot with Thanatos. Thanatos won't ult without Thor ulting.
Yeah.
And it's the same situation this time with a support player, and I love it. I really do. Takati, realistically, Takati is the butt of a lot of jokes in the Smite community. This game around, though, he's doing work, and he's showing that, he does know what's going on. Besides that missed taunt, we won't talk about it, but he's doing all the right things to keep his teammates alive.
Here we go again. This is the thing about this whole situation, after, is that Paradox, as a Hunter player, knowing you've got the backup of your team at a moment's notice, it means you can go this aggressive, overextend, push against the enemy base, force people to rotate over to you, and when they do, your team will show up and back you up, and you'll clean up some kills, and then you'll look cool at the end of it because you're the Hunter player. It's a nice situation to be in. It doesn't always happen the way you want it to, and now he's going to be able to wander through the jungle as if it's his own.
Yeah, I mean, he's so much ahead right now. He's 5-0-3. He actually went for the very expensive chin size. Over 3,000 gold on that item, but it's really going to make him run this mid-game. His damage mid-game will be higher than if he went Executioner. Late game, depending on the build he goes, he'll see similar or less damage. If he goes traditional crit build, he'll see less damage than if he built Executioner. But if he goes the crit build
the crit of the crit.
I hate that it's crit or crit. We need to change that a little bit. But if he does go the crit build, which is, I mean, I guess we could call the unicorn build, he'll go brawler's beats that can basically just flat damage and penetration instead of crit, which I really like because Uller is an ability-based hunter, not so much an in-hand guy. But Apollo's in the air looking for something to eat.
Well, Apollo went up to this guy because they started the Gold Fury, but immediately he's going to downput aggression onto Adora. There's a lot of nice damage, forcing out the portal. But now Thor takes it to the sky as well, looking for a follow-up. Doesn't find it on Grishank, actually needs a tower shot for his trouble, and immediately has to jump away back to the safety of his hammer and his team. But Gold Fury was the signal for why Apollo used that ultimate, but he forced it. He also forced Thor ultimate as well. And now Rambozos will feel very confident having this Athena, having this Ra, having this Fear No Evil on Grishank available as well. This should be a free Gold Fury unless Pulliam can make a big play. No,
yeah, I mean, it's not going to be free. They can provide some resistance, but just how much resistance when you're 9k down? Meerkat picks up 1 kill. Pugsy gets hit by the ult from a mile away, and in comes the Paradox looking for more. He's got that Athena on his back while Meerkat picks up the Thor in the back line, aggressing underneath the tower, looking for more. Pugsy gets shot with the double shotgun coming out from Aduro. Mr. Mackey trying to turn things around with the ultimate, not quite able to do so. 3-1 underneath the tower. Mr. Mackey helping out with the tower, but is it enough? Can he do it? He's dancing, he's moving, not enough damage, able to kill him. Grishank gets the final kill, secures the Dia side, and that'll secure the F6 surrender. Deus Volt trails by 10k. Rambozos take it, leading 15-14 kills.
Ward coverage was the key to that game there, after every single time Thor went in the air, they knew he was in the air, they backed away, or they ulted in response. Every single time, and then that engagement was the be-all and end-all of that game at the end there. Apollo committed to his ultimate because they were doing the Gold Fury. He tried to make something happen in mid with it to make it pay off, but then Thor also ulted to try and follow up with that, didn't find anything, and that just gave Rambozos the free chance to have ultimate advantage in at the Gold Fury, and GG, well played. Rambozos played really, really well that game.
Exactly. And I mean, I want to point something out into chat. Usually I'm totally not that guy. When teams are bad, we call it how it is, and we just say teams are bad. This time around, though, Mr. Mackey, Pugsy, Thufa, Pulliam, Walrus, these are players that have flirted with the competitive scene and have made it far. We've seen them as far as semifinals, and I'm pretty sure I've seen these names in finals before, in some of our Challenger Cup stuff and some of our one-shot weeklies. So these are players that know how to play the game. It's just that the Rambozos, even with a substitute, Chris Pocket not here to play for them this week, able to pull it out. This team is practiced, this team is looking, and they're hungry for the victory November 22nd at that North American LAN. Reminder, tickets are still on sale. esports.smitegame.com to pick up your own tickets today. But coming up next, we've got a very, very, very exciting game for you. Let me just make sure I get this team name correct. It is Glib Glub, Glib Glub, Glib. Let me, I gotta double check this one, guys. I'm sorry. Gleep, Gleep Glop, and the Floopy Flops. And they will be against 5 Angry Men, the Floopy Doos. Gleep, Glop, and the Floopy Doos against 5 Angry Men. You guys know who 5 Angry Men are. You guys have seen them before they were disqualified. Gleep, Glop, and the Floppy Doos. All I'm saying is you'll recognize the name. Stay tuned for the surprise of this next match.
Floopy Doos.